What's going on, YouTubeites? Is it too late to say Happy New Year? I mean, do people still?
No, I think throughout the whole month.
Say Happy New Year.
Yeah, my thing is, I
think once you get hit February, you got to stop. But until January, you're good.
Yeah, I think if you haven't seen anybody since the New Year, I think it's probably fine etiquette to be like, "Yo, Happy New Year!" So, Happy New Year to the people we haven't wished Happy New Year yet, and welcome to the Shakers show for the I think this is our third Shakers show, so I'm not sure, man, but this list comes from our friends at CovrPrice. But hey, fuck that. Before I get to it, you know what, since you guys have been tailgating and having a good old time, I want to get you guys some entertainment, man. Get that ass shaking. Matter of fact, that's why it's for the Shakers list, because we have to come on and shake it. So while you guys are congregating, get a little funky with it. Yo, I should have gave a disclaimer to adjust your bass levels for MC Shy D. What you kids know about that?
Best heard with headphones on, because he was going back and forth.
That's old school ATL right there. That's that booty shaking MC Shy D for all you kids who think you know the dirty South. You need some MC Shy D in your life from the ATL. Back when it was Luke Skywalker Records, before Lucas sued the shit out of Uncle Luke, and it just turned to Luke Records. I don't know how he got along so long by calling himself Luke Skywalker Records, and then making songs about everybody say, "Hey, we want some." Anyway,
speaking of wanting band to get banned.
He's the one that went to court and everything. It was really Luke Skywalker.
They were the reason for the parental advisory stuff, weren't they?
Him and Twisted Sister, they both showed up. Twisted Sister actually went to a congressional hearing, but Two Live Crew actually got arrested at a show
in Florida or something, right?
Yeah, because they told him you can't be saying that filth, fire, and filth around here. And sure enough, they said filth, fire, and filth, and they threw him in jail. But speaking of filth, fire, and filth, say what's up to JB from Discovery Bay Comics.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I'm excited, man. This list is crazy.
It's a cool list.
If anybody's got the app, you guys got to get the app so it unlocks the whole list so you guys can see this. This is just crazy stuff on here, man.
What
there's a book on here.
Their money. What?
We will look behind the curtain and we will show you guys some stuff on this at the end of the show.
Nice.
But speaking of peeking behind curtains, my man Darkside Jedi, say what's
up.
Be
for what you wish for. Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. January 14th, we are about to do the Shakers list. And there's one book on here that I think is pretty cool just because of the date. The other one, I'm like, what is this book? Yeah. So I guess we'll see.
This list changes on a daily basis. There's about 50 of them. So this list comes from our friends at CovrPrice, focusing on new sales or the most interesting sales found on their exclusive daily Shakers list. This list changes several times a day, so make sure you check it out every day to review some of the hottest trending books on the market. So this, of course, this is brought to you by our friends from CovrPrice.com. You met Matt and John the other day for our 2.5-hour extravaganza, which only felt like 30 minutes, to be honest with you.
It really did.
When you're with friends talking about some cool stuff, time just flies by. You know what I'm saying? So we're all here with you guys in the live chat. You guys are our friends. Just think of this. You're just visiting your friends at the local comic shop on a Wednesday and just talking up good stuff. So shout out to everybody in the live chat. My man Sith Lordly holding it down with the wrench with JB. Ooh. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. I would shout you guys all out, but there's 75 of you and growing, and I don't want to waste your time by reading off names horribly. So
smash that like.
So make sure you check out our friends at CovrPrice.com. At the end of the show, I'm going to go log onto the site and take a look at some of the shakers from today. If you didn't know, there was a heritage auction today, and some new records were dropped, and it hasn't updated on the CovrPrice website yet. But what's interesting about these sales is, I wonder, how many retracted bids there are, how many people don't buy. But either way, a Batman #1 sold at Heritage today, and I watched it live. So it actually sold for $1.9 million, but all the news sites are saying it was sold for $2.2 million. I'm assuming that's with fees and taxes and everything. But it was a Batman #1 from the Golden Age, sold a 9.4.
Where was that at? Seriously,
Heritage Auctions.
Was that at? No, but where did somebody keep that book for all those years?
Right?
That
amazing.
Kind of there was a 9.4.
A paltry Amazing Fantasy 15 sold. A first Captain America sold for only 320,000. But that Batman one, it was amazing watching the live auction. Even though the auctioneer was awful, but it's neither here nor there. But I go check out the Heritage Auctions website. I wonder if they have a replay of it. But let's get right to it, boys and girls. This is the top shakers of the list, different from the CovrPrice top 10, where it looks at most units sold and a percentage of price jump. This is just single issues that hit one high sale that jumped out to us. So let's kick it out, boys and girls. Starting off with the first one, the Amazing Spider-Man 800. Wasn't that back in the days of the old Red Goblin stuff? Or anyway, Gabriel Del Otto was forever connected to one of the most valuable modern-day variants, Amazing Spider-Man 667. Well, there's another Del Otto high-ratio variant that has recently been moving up in value. This week, the gorgeous 1 in 200 variant hit a high new sale of 550 bones in the CDC 9.8. Remember on the end of the year thing, we were just marveling about the Amazing Spider-Man 667. Yes. At least this one is somewhat of a key, right? It's a anniversary issue, but that other one, man, the prices on it
couldn't understand how they get so high.
It was mind-boggling. But as you saw with the Heritage Auctions today, some people just have money to spend, and it doesn't matter. They can drop, $1.9 million on a Batman #1. I can't believe they got this Golden Age Batman book for a 9.4. But
that's amazing.
I have a feeling that will show up on this list next week because, obviously it just happened, so it hasn't. And they gave me this list yesterday, so it's not even. I even looked it up on the website. They haven't updated the website with it yet. They want to make sure it's all legit, but I would imagine very soon you'll see it on there. So, Amazing Spider-Man #800, the Del Otto 1 in 200, man. You know what I was just thinking? You don't see many really high ratio variants like this anymore.
I think the last one I remember was that 1 in 500 Jim Lee for that Batman run.
Yeah. Or I was thinking 1 in 50s are really rare now, but 1 in 25s. But, Alex Ross did some 1 in 100. So,
those are rare too. I'm seeing a lot more 1 in 10s, 1 in 15s.
Yeah. But you got to think also back in 2018, there was more shops open, more people ordering. But man, 550. And this is a pretty amazing cover, actually. I really dig it. Cool. Really dig it. This looks better than the
He's all webbed up.
55. Yeah. So there you go. Amazing Spider-Man #800, the Gabriel Del Otto 1 in 200 variant. What do we got next, Ryan?
Nom goes next.
Oh, okay. JB, I'm sorry. My bad. Go on. Get it.
All right. Speaking of gentlemen dropping some big coin, coming in #2 at the Shakers, we've got Avengers #47, originally published in 1967 from Marvel Comics and Rarity. Now, this book contains the first appearance of Dane Whitman, who becomes the Black Knight in the following issue. Now, those two books heated up back in August of 2019 as Disney announced that Kit Harington of Game of Thrones fame would play the character in the upcoming Eternals movie. There wasn't a lot of news in the interim, and both books kind of cooled down. Well, now we're hearing some unsubstantiated rumors that Dane Whitman will ride high coming off the Eternals movie and may have an extended future with Disney and Marvel. Now, although that's just a rumor, it seems it was enough to entice one buyer to pay a whopping $5,050 for a CGC 9.8 copy. Now, listen, that's over 80% over the last sale in this grade. Now, while 9.8 copies are available, there's 24 of these on the CGC census, and some are available on eBay. We rarely see any sales. The last sale at this grade was way back in May of 2020 for $2,800. Now, we'll definitely be watching to see if this recent sale may have an impact on sales on lower grades. Also, we're going to be watching the first appearances. Now is a nice reminder to pick up variants from the 2015 Black Knight series, like the number 1 Powell 1 in 25 or the number 3 Tim Bradstreet 1 in 25. Those both have been slowly climbing back from significant lows. The Powell fell to $30 during COVID lull and recently sold for $89.99. Now, current asking prices are high, but check your LCS and other online resources. Now's the time to hunt. These are going to be pricey books. Might as well check out that John Tyler action figure variant too for number 1, since that had a qualifier. That means you exceeded 150% of your orders on an all-new Hawkeye number 4. Now, come on, who would have known that? Right? Well, hold on. This is how you find this information out. Now, how did they qualify? They had to get the 150% of orders on all new Hawkeye number 4 with orders for Black Knight number 1 regular cover for this variant to be unlocked. Now, I'll tell you what, check out Drunken Chat from last weekend where Ultra Maximus covers all of that John Tyler action figure variants, and jump to the 1 hour and 9 minute mark for the scoop.
I just dropped their link in the live chat. That's one of the fellow YouTubers from the Mighty Mel. They got a drunken show, really great cats over there. I just dropped that link in the live chat, and they talked about some of the variants, also friends from CBSI and friends of CovrPrice. So check out the Mighty Mel Drunken Cast. I think they go once a week on there. But yeah, man, we actually reported here on the Lords as one of our scoops, not from Mikey, not from the Black Knight, but from Mikey Sutton, that there are going to be spinoffs, and that Kit Harington is a major part of that. So, and our initial reporting was that it was going to be Captain Britain leading an Excalibur team or a Captain Britain Corps. So I would say, along with Black Knight, look at the Captain Britain Corps. Also look at Excalibur, because they think Kit Harington has enough star power, obviously, Jon Snow and everything, to where he can spin off from the Eternals and do his own thing. So I can see that as the next Marvel property, either be it, on the big screen or on a Disney Plus series. Imagine a Black Knight series, Black Knight and Excalibur type run,
cool.
Big in the UK. I think he's, destined to be a big role, a spin-off. Because when you think of the Eternals, you don't think of the Black Knight. The only really relation to the Black Knight and the Eternals is he would one time him and Cersei were romantically linked, right? And they were both Avengers at the same time as well. I was also say, look for the first time Cersei and Black Knight are on the Avengers. You really have to do some researching. I did it one time, and it took me a while to find it. It's like one of the 90s Avengers comics where the roster of teams was just ridiculous. I just said Comics asked, how many in the CGC census? I'm glad you asked that. Let me highlight your thing, man.
Ooh, highlight his thing.
Highlight your thing. What are you talking about here?
Highlight that thing, man. As soon as I can find your thing, dude.
Where is it? Come on.
Finding the thing, highlighting it.
So many
We're highlighting things today in the chat.
I'm trying to, but here,
come back to that.
I'll just highlight him. He asked how many in the CGC census, and I'm glad you asked that, because at the end of the CovrPrice annual show, John was talking about some of the updating future features that are going to be built in is going to be part of the CGC census. So when you're in CovrPrice and you look up a book, it'll actually tell you how many are in the CGC census. So that's pretty cool. One of the new things that are coming to the CovrPrice features in the future. Ooh, I say that fast. Features in the not future fast, but whatever. So great question to about the census, because when I was looking at the Heritage auction today for the Batman #1, on the Heritage it says, on their description for it, there's like there's no highest CGC grade for Batman #1 is a 9.2, so a 9.4 is the highest in the CGC registry, and the only one that high. So really, that is a super rare book. I mean, needless to say, it's a Batman.
A 1940 book had a 9.4. That's.
And, Bezos probably just said, here's some lunch money. Go buy that book for me. So,
right.
Avengers #47, first appearance of the Black Knight, finally is picking up some steam. If that character blows up, man, this book can be really big, man. So it's Avengers 47, and then 48, I think, is a cooler cover. It actually features the Black Knight on the cover, riding his steed. It looks pretty dope. I like that. I like actually the Avengers 48 better. I got them both though. So I was telling my man Sith Lord to get them. Hopefully he got them before the book started blowing up and they announced it, because we had been talking about Black Knight is coming. All right, Avengers 47 is next on the list. What's next, Ryan? This one is a weird one.
Yeah, this one is a weird one. The number 3 shaker this week is Deathmate Preview. This is the orange version. This is an Image comic. Excuse me. The Deathmate Preview from August 1993 came in 2 forms. It came in pink and it came in orange. The pink version was available through normal channels, but the orange version came glued to a previews magazine. Oh, those good old previews magazines, right? Only 2 copies of this book are on the CGC census. One, which is a 3.5 copy, likely because someone tore it from the previous book, causing the notable damage. And the other is a 9.8 copy, which recently sold via eBay for $2,247. The seller, what's that?
Wow. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. The seller claims that he bought it raw from someone who got it from a Diamond employee who worked at Previews. Apparently, this copy had never been glued to a Previews magazine, and as such, avoided the poor fate of the 3.5 copy. We've seen other sales of this book, but they all have damage. Who knows if the story is true, but considering the painful extraction process, the story makes sense. Moreover, unless someone close to the previews is sitting on a stack of never glued copies, this may well be the very last and only 9.8 copy we see.
Yeah, so it's always great to have a story with something when somebody buys something, right? Not just bring some idiot on your YouTube channel, ask him why he spent $2,000 more than somebody else on a comic, but an actual cool story. And for the good kids that don't know, this was a huge thing in 1993, where Valiant and Image got together to do a company-wide crossover for both, because they're like, you know what? DC and Marvel, hey, we're coming up. We can do our own thing. Look at what we got. We got Valiant. We have Image. Well, there was that. But this is one of those things where there's a ton of. I remember Deathmate Black, and there was like multiple covers and colors. But man, this one, it's another one of those things, man. Just thinking, when you think you know everything, there's somebody out there surprise you with some weird stuff, man. So Deathmate,
glued to a previews magazine.
A previews magazine.
Right.
And he got in a 9.8, which makes it even more astounding. So there you go. If you have Deathmate Preview Orange on your 2021 bingo card, you are partway there. All right,
Wow.
Next up on the list, that's something more we can relate with, but something that's we've all seen, but now this is getting crazy now with these combo packs, what people are doing with this. In 2011, with the launch of DC's New 52 reboot, don't call it a reboot, they offered a polybag combo pack that included the print copy along with the code to download the digital copy. These combo packs were more expensive, so readers essentially paying an extra $1 for a digital plus print copy. While they were not directly called a variant, they technically were, as they offered different covers, titles, and logo colors. However, the combo pack was considered an overall failure and was discontinued in spring of 2015. By this time, Most stores stopped ordering these, and the print run became considerably small due to the dwindling numbers. These became quite collectible and rare for those end-of-run copies. Many of these even considered to be even rarer than the rarest incentive variants. And all it takes is a key first appearance to make it skyrocket, which is exactly what it did for this first full appearance of Jessica Cruz, which sold for a massive $1,000 in a CGC 9.8. So we've always talking about variants, and with the combination of a hot character and a low scarcity, and you get this, a Justice League combo pack number 31. I would assume these combo packs are kind of hard to get as well. In a 9.8, simply because of it's Walmart, and that's what people are assuming, that they're hard to get. But it's left over from 2020, man. This continues to go. Jessica Cruz obviously is rumored to be in the Green Lantern Corps, not corpse. It's core. Corpse is a dead body. It's core. Stops calling it the Green Lantern Corpse. It's core, for God's sake. Corpse are dead people. Or dead things. You can whatever. All right, Justice League number 31, the combo pack. What's up next, guys?
That's great. Okay, next up, Shaker number 5, we've got Claws of the Panther number 1, the Stephanie Hans 1 in 10 variant, originally published in 2010 from Marvel Comics. Wow, right? When Chadwick's death was announced, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, speculation went straight to Shuri, taking on the mantle. Now, her first early appearance in the costume just went crazy. However, this hard-to-find variant with low supply hit $100 raw. This week, the 1 in 10 Stephanie Hans variant sold at a CGC 9.8 for $699.99, and it's still unknown who, or if anyone, is going to take on the Black Panther mantle.
Yeah, so all we know from the Disney investor call was that T'Challa, the character himself, will not be recast. So there'll be somebody else who becomes a Black Panther, but T'Challa himself will not be recast. Just like Cyborg will not be recast because, can't just talk shit about your boss and still expect a job, man. That dude Ray Fisher kills me, man. I understand he's got some, he's pissed off about some stuff, but I've never had a job where I can just be like, yo, man, I don't want to work for my boss, and then still expect to have a job. So
what are you talking about? James Harden just did it, man. He's making 40 mil.
Oh, that's different though. Come on now. James Harden has a career. I think Ray Fisher did the only film he did was Cyborg, so in that one. So it's kind of interesting. But man, I thought the Shuri stuff was over, but apparently, it's still going. I mean, obviously, she's going to have a prominent role in Black Panther 2. I always still think she's going to be the Q to James Bond. Kind of like the one that does the tech support, gives him the suit and everything, and she won't, actually be. Maybe she will be one of the Black Panthers. Maybe there'll be a Black Panther team. I don't know what you would call how the Pride of Lions. What do you call like a bunch of Black Panthers together? So hey,
that's a great idea, man.
For the live chat, figure that out. Is it a Pride of Black Panthers? Is it a gaggle of them?
A lion is a pride, right?
Yeah,
but you don't really know any other cats that are in groups. Most of them.
Shout out to the Comic-Con podcast who just joined. That's our friends Manimal and Nemesis Prime who are on the podcast. And unfortunately, you guys have just been made a wrench. There you go. So now you are highlighted to all. So make sure you guys follow the Comic-Con podcast. They are dropping their show tomorrow at 9 a.m. And it's a podcast only, so it's on podcast stuff like iTunes. And some other shit, Google Play, Spotify, all that stuff, man. Wherever you guys go for your podcast stuff. So, all right, next up on the list is Claws of the Panther. Number 1, the Stephanie Hans 1 in 10 variant. People going back, see, this is funny because people are like looking back like 10 years now and finding these variants, which in the past, a variant from 10 years ago, man, you can usually get for pretty cheap, but 2020 continues into 2021, boys and girls. So speaking of which, this one will really get you weird. And I can guarantee you that no other top 10, 11, or list on the YouTubes is talking about this book.
Knights of the Dinner Table number 1. This is an Alderac Group publication from 1994. And add this to your list of weird indie books that sell for over $100. This book, written and drawn by Jolly L. Blackburn, featured a group of friends playing a Knights of the Round Table type role player game. During this time, there weren't really many books centered around role playing games, which allowed this book to find actually a cult following. This week, this hard to find book sold for $790 for a CGC 9.6. And this is one of those books that always finds its way into the dollar bins. We've personally seen it. So keep an eye out for when you're digging in those indie boxes.
You know, I was going to do one of the, like a show where we do trivia about our own show, but I thought that was like, that's kind of self-serving to like expect people to know stuff about us from like 15 years ago. Like we expect people to watch every single show, but way back when, some of the first episodes of Lords of the Long Box was called Lords of the Round Table because it was a round table discussion. That was one of the first, and then we just literally kind of changed it after that. Before that was back when Marty was on the show, a couple of other cats was on the show. We called it Lords of the Round Table. So at one point, I thought about calling it Lords of the Dinner Table. No, I didn't, but just say
book,
little.
What we're trying to say is this comic is based on us.
That's right. It is. It's based on us. So Knights of the Dinner Table, man. That's
hilarious.
For $790. I mean, this is kind of cool.
If anybody has this book, please tag me on Instagram. I want to see it
with a picture. Like we need to see
like,
proof of life. You know, to
put a newspaper up with the date, your photograph.
Like you have a hostage. We need proof of life. But tag us if you had this, and we'll send you a Marvel No Prize because I would be surprised if anybody had this book from Alderac Group in 1994. So
shit, I'll send you a comic book.
Hey man, the 90s was a wild time in comic book shops.
It's
tell you that right now. It was fun. It was wild. There was all kinds of stuff. And so there you go. Knights of the Dinner Table, #1 hit at $790 for a graded 9.6. You got to think
crazy.
Not many high grade copies of this. So, all right. I think I'm next, right?
You're next.
I get the Phantom Lady. Look at that.
Yeah, you do. She's sexy.
Yeah, she does. I like her outfit. I don't know if it's very useful, but there you go. Last week, one of the shakers on our list was Crime Suspense Stories #22 with its brutal decapitation cover. But violence and horror weren't the only things that led to the implementation of the Comics Code Authority. Books that had covers that were considered provocative with scantily clad women, often referred to as good girl art covers, were also high on the list of troublemakers in the eyes of the Seduction of the Innocent report. Wow. I mean that, man. That's the same right there with Reefer Madness and the U.S. Senate. The Phantom Lady ran from issues 13 to 23, many of which had Matt Baker covers, fall into this category in some of the most in-demand books in the Golden Age comic collectors. Well, issue 17 is by far the most popular. All the books are rare and desirable. This week saw a raw sale issue #20 sell for $1,025 with an estimated grade of, get this, about a 4.5 for basically a VG to VG plus.
Wow.
Only a few copies of this book came up for sale each year, so collectors jumped the opportunity to pick this one up. If you're interested in breaking into this area of the Golden Age collection, make sure you get your checkbook ready, though. Do people still use those? Actually, yes. I was stuck in line today behind a woman that was 80 years old and wanted to write a check at the grocery store. It took 10 minutes because she wrote her check and then balanced her checkbook while she was doing that. Oh my! I just sat there and I was like, thank God I had a mask on and sunglasses on because you could see me rolling my eyes and disgust on my face. But now I think about it, I had sunglasses and mask on. I probably thought I was going to rob the place if it wasn't.
You know what? One day you're going to be in line using a check card or your bank card, and some kid behind you is going to be pissed off because you're not using the chip in your arm or something.
I know. When you're going to pay for something, people are going to like, where do I stick my finger?
Yeah.
Oh! Anyway, issue 17 had a high sale of, get this, $121,000 for a 9.4 in 2019. And in May 2020, a 0.5.
Damn, for a non-hero book, like a non,
went for almost $2,000. So
for a 0.5.
Wow.
So if you see any Phantom ladies, and we're
Let's
not
go.
talking about those
0.5.
Phantom ladies, we're not talking about those Phantom ladies in the night in the Tenderloin. You know what I'm saying? James knows what I'm talking
not
about.
the ones in Bay Point. No, that's not what we're
Yeah,
talking
no,
about.
James knows what I'm talking about. Or the ones during Mardi Gras, you know what I mean? But anyway, Phantom Lady, man. So for those who don't know, I mean, there's lots of great articles about it on how comic books were under fire for the longest time. That, hey, man, because a lot of them were about talking this. And then so they really, I mean, our governments in the 40s and the 50s, I mean, and I don't want to get too political, but McCarthyism is what kind of put all this. It's basically book burning of the 20th century, where people were afraid that it would corrupt the minds of the youths if they saw scantily clad women or anything crazy in comic books. The same thing happened with music when we were just talking about earlier with Shy D and all these.
Let's call it what it is: government censorship.
And then the same thing happened again in the 90s with video games, right? When they said and Mortal Kombat was the one that they singled out as one of the most violent games. I would tell you guys, go check out that docuseries on Netflix called High Score. It is absolutely fantastic. It talks about the kind of history of video games all the way up to like first-person shooters, but also talks about Pac-Man, Pong, and then the most recent one where it talks about how, like music in like the 80s and 90s, there was a video game started getting that parental guidance or whatever, the parental warning on it,
or whatever.
the rating system, right?
Yeah.
So it was
mature, M for mature,
for all ages, like Mario, and then for everything else. I mean, and then they were talking about how Mortal Kombat and Doom, and there was this other game that was this weird game by Hasbro, which was VHS based or something like that, but it was basically they filmed scenes from it. You have to check out that episode because it was like an 80s slasher film where all these girls were scantily clad and they had to fight off vampires that were trying to kill them. And this game got banned, and it was one of those games that I don't know how to explain it, but go just watch like the last 2 episodes of High Score. They talk about that game, and it's kind of crazy that they made this video game. It literally looked like these girls were Night Trap, fucking T-Ravis, Points. Oh, Comic-Con podcast too. Sorry, guys. Night Trap is the name of the game, man. Oh, King to Golden State. Well, look at that. Look at all you fuckers at first. But anyway, great. Night Trap is the name of the game. Go on to YouTube and just search just the videos of it. It is crazy that they came up with this video game. And the maker of the video game ended up doing special effects for Hollywood. But, it was one of the earliest things. Just think Night Trap is one of the games that they put up at Congress along with Mortal Kombat to say these games are breaking our children. You know what? And little did they know, slapping a label.
Yeah, well, you know what? They might not have been wrong. Look at us now. We're all crazy.
Little did they know that just like with records putting a parental guidance on it, putting a rating on a video game, guess what? It makes kids want them more. That's right, Robert. They re-released it on Sega CD, like a 20-year later anniversary of it. So it's Night Trap. If you guys don't know, the story behind Night Trap is one of the most insane things I've ever seen and what they had meant it to be. So it was a Hasbro game, right? And they go, I want it to be about vampires. They go, well, we can't do that. The kids would be too scary. So it goes, okay, what about if they're old vampires and they can't run? So they had these creepy, slow vampires, but they use this device to stick into people's neck and extract blood from it. And then the game maker's like, we can go with that. And then that made it even worse than what it was. So I would love that. They should remake Night Trap, make a movie out of it. But there you go, man. Long story short, Phantom Lady number 20 is on our list because obviously she's dressed way too scantily clad for people nowadays. Shout out to Lady Death and all those other comics in the 90s. Just took the comics, the comics authority and just said, fuck you. We don't want to, if you don't want to put it on there, we're going to make our own comics without it. So, I mean, it was kind of useless in what it ended up becoming, but it's still interesting in the piece of comic book history, though. So, Phantom Lady number 20, Raw Comics sold for $1,000, man. So, if you see Phantom Ladies, snatch them up, grab them by the spine of the comic, is what I meant.
Carefully.
Right. Here's something else. Here's something that's more familiar. What do we got?
All right, now before we get to that, man, real shout out to this chat, which is just on fire. I have got to tell you, the Blue Wrenches are holding it down, JLS and the Comic-Con podcast, but Planet Arizona Comics and Bayou Entertainment dropping just hilarious stuff in the chat. Thank you, everybody who's joining us live. Do not forget to hit that thumbs up. All right, next up, we've got the number 8 shaker on the list. We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 3, originally published in 1985 from Mirage Comics. And right, wow, right? Turtle power is still in full force. If you can't get the first or the second, go for the third. This third issue of the original series sold for $2,000 last week for a CGC 9.8. And no, this was definitely not the error version. Just think, this exact time last year, 9.8s of this book were selling for $356.
So this is another things that I regret was selling my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection. I had the original run. I still have one of the more interesting books of this book. I believe it's called Fugitoid, which is the first Eastman and Laird comic for Mirage. That's the only one I held on to. But who would have known that The Last Ronin would have made Turtle Fever all over again? All over again. It's crazy, man. And then I saw people been posting that cover about Jenica, that really off-putting female turtle. Man, that thing is a weird looking turtle, man. I know they try to make it look feminine, but it looks weird to me, man. Is that her new first appearance, Jenica, or whatever that is? But either way, man, The Last Run, it just takes a little spark to light the fire of the rebellion.
Does. Right.
Sorry, I just saw the Last Jedi. I think he said it just takes a spark to ignite the fire of the rebellion. So there you go, man. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 3, not even a first print, selling for $2,000. All right, what's next up? This is absolutely gorgeous cover.
This is a beautiful cover, and if you haven't heard Thor God of Thunder, the series is huge, but this is number 19. This is the Simone Bianchi.
Yeah, that's close.
This is the 1 in 100 from 2014. Dario Agger, Minotaur, a Greek industrial capitalist and CEO of Roxxon Industries, who first appears in this issue, is introduced to Thor by Roz Salman as the director, or as the Doctor Doom of corporate scumbags. He is a capitalist who causes global warming and then sells solutions to the problem brought on by climate change. The story flashes to a future desert wasteland of Earth, where old Thor and his granddaughters question the value of this deserted and desolate planet. Presumably, this is the grim future of Earth of Dario Agger, and he initiates with his destruction of environment for profit. As our real planet just ended the warmest year in record history, a year which brought fires and drought to much of the planet, Jason Aaron's story grows more relevant over time. And the prices for this issue continue to rise. This week, we noted an astonishing $875 sale for this 1 in 100 variant. Dario Agger also plays a major role in Al Ewing's current Immortal Hulk run. In that story, Agger brings back Zemnu.
Almost sounds like some Scientology shit.
Yeah, right. To battle Hulk and essentially catalyzes the Devil Hulk, who sets his wrath against the kind of eco-destruction perpetrated by companies like Roxxon, and specifically against Agger himself.
So for the longest time, people were like specking that Dario Agger was going to be Christian Bale, which I never believed, but it didn't stop people from going out and getting Dario Agger's first appearance, because I always thought that, Dario Agger, that's too small of a character for Christian Bale. Then boom, sure enough, here he comes as Gore the God Butcher. Mm-hmm. Christian Bale is going to kill that. But
kill it.
I don't know. Christian Bale as a Minotaur, you never know. Maybe they need to get that dude that does the insurance commercials where his lower body is a bike to be Dario Agger. You know what I'm saying?
Him or who's the... Oh, no. I'm thinking something else. Never mind.
Okay, everybody, disregard what Ryan just said.
Disregard.
Anyway, either way, this is a gorgeous.
I was thinking the Old Spice commercial, but he's not. It's not the same.
telling you, Thor has some of the best modern covers, man. Between this and then Isik Ribic also does some dope covers.
I have an amazing Alex Ross, that rainbow cover one.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is so beautiful. It's probably my favorite of that whole run.
Actually, it's funny that you bring that up because I will probably show it to you because I think it showed up on the Shakers list. But there we go. Thor God of Thunder number 23, the Simone Bianchi 1 in 100 variants. If I said his name incorrectly, give yourself a Marvel No Prize. But all right, the last one on the list, boys and girls. Oh my God!
What? I remember watching this on Channel 1 in school.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Number 1. The DC Universe logo. That's right. Carmen freaking Sandiego, man. While generally a low value book, this DCU logo version is very hard to find. It's sold for 100 raw this week. If you didn't know about these, the DC logo variants are subsequent printings that had the words DC Universe in the UPC logo box in the lower left-hand corner. These were packaged together in the DC multi-packs sold to various non-comic book and comic book retailers. They were usually the last printing of each title and can be exceptionally difficult to find, especially in high grade. If you want to know more about the various levels, various books and the level of rarity, check out a very comprehensive list by master of the DC logo variants, Steve Horm, over at comicbookinvest.com. Go check out comicbookinvest.com. They talk about this. Also, check out recalledcomics.com where they talk about super rare variants. But that is the Shakers list. And you know what? As we always like to do when we close up the show, I like to bring up the actual CovrPrice.
You don't want to talk about that book? That's crazy. You know, the whole story behind that DC Universe logo is just quite amazing that they really don't know how many of each of these they printed because they kind of just looked at their orders for the current order and printed just enough to fill the current order.
I think I have
of these value packs. It was just amazing to hear that that's how they did it. So
I have one comic that has a DC Universe logo. Because I remember seeing it one time and I was like, I think that that's what I'm telling you. It's all about muscle memory or whatever that is, pornographic memory when you remember shit. So it's good to have a pornographic memory when you're collecting comics. But let me bring up. As soon as I can never share this correctly, but we'll get to it, man. We'll figure shit out. I'm gonna
take down the current one and then put up.
Take down the slide.
I know. I got it.
Oh, okay.
Right. So we will go full screen.
Oh yeah,
full screen that. Full screen.
Yeah.
You got it.
So scroll down. Obviously, there's the CovrPrice top 10. These are the weekly. I think I still have my thing blown up to 100 and there you go. That's a little bit better, right? These are the weekly movers, highest unit sales, and the daily shakers is what we like to talk about.
I like that Spider-Man one.
And I think, Ryan, what you're referring to maybe was this one.
Yes, I have that one. That's a beautiful book.
On the Shakers list. This is the Alex Ross 75th anniversary. Graded 9.8, last sold for $319 in January 13, 2021. Average raw sales on it is $101. Graded sales 258, so it set a new record, Ryan. So
mine is raw. I will have to send it in.
We're done with the other variants real quick. Go back down.
Yeah, so if we scroll down, it shows us all the different variants for Thor number 1.
That's
obviously,
fire.
Everybody knows that one. This sketch variant is also gorgeous.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Yeah, look at that one. Ooh, yeah, that's
I had that
provocative, the way she's holding that hammer there. Hold it down, girl. You
Whoa.
Is
that's
that
a girthy hammer right there.
That is a rather large hammer. So these are all the variants just for this one issue. Midtown Comics. There's the homage to Journey into Mystery 83. This is one of my favorites here. I like this one.
That's just what I want on a really beautiful cover. Yeah. Is just some goofy freaking comic book logo on it. Come on, people.
Eastside Ribic 1 in 50. This is one of my favorites in that run. So let's go see what else is shaking because this list changes every day. We talked about this book earlier in the week. So this is the 50 shakers of just today, guys. So
you're going too fast. Slow down, man.
Well, I'm going to start at the very top, man. So I expect this list to change after they input the heritage auction stuff that happened today. But
wait a minute, that shit says raw.
Yep. Somebody paid
What in the F?
No way, man.
Why?
That's not happening. Come on, man.
It's the same morons
did
and
not
other
happen.
YouTube channels that keep on perpetrating this.
No,
previews.
this is a big game someone's playing with us right now. I don't
really
it's
is.
real.
It's we're being punked. Where's Ashton Kutcher?
We are. We're totally being punked right now.
Ashton Kutcher is the one that's buying
Let's
all these.
see how many shows can we get it on?
Yeah, the Clone Wars continues to be hot, as you can see. What's interesting when I told you guys last time, so this Clone Wars, if you notice, it's a key issue and it's a diamond, meaning it's a rare find. And so this is a newsstand from 2008. And if you guys watch our end of year show, I don't want to tell you how rare a 2008 newsstand is, but it's pretty darn rare as opposed to first appearance of Ahsoka Tano outside of Star Wars canon. So there you go, man.
Slide back down again. Oh, man, I was looking at that. Yeah, was that a 9.8 or a 9.0? 9.8.
9.0 sold for $22.50.
Oh my goodness!
Yesterday,
9.0
somewhere. Justin is salivating right now.
$22.50. Oh my goodness!
O is correct. It is 9.0. So that's what
mania is real.
And here we go. Here we go.
It's real,
giant size X-Men love.
That's on my hunt list for this year, fellas. I'm gonna attain one again.
So just
let it go.
Just today, a raw giant size X-Men #1 sold for $1,500 just today. Wow.
Hey, but you know what? That's down 10%, so that's a bargain.
Yeah. Let's see what else jumps out of here. A little Wonder Woman love, a little Neil Adams love.
Heir to the Empire.
Shall we look at Heir to the Empire? Man, we've already looked at Heir to the Empire. Look at this, my man. Let's look. This book is always on this list now. It shows I own 3 of them. Hey,
how many? I was just going to ask, how many do you own?
3. I used to own 4 slabs, but then I sold one.
Are they all slabs? That your collection? Are they raw?
No, they're all slab now. I have a 9.8, 9.6, and a 9.2. The 9.6 and 9.2 I believe are signed. I have to look. But yeah, so 9.2 sold for $9.39. Still a great deal, I think. I mean, once the movie comes out, I think these are really
21%.
Hey, let's look at
the trend.
This.
The math on that transaction sets the market at plus 21%.
Yep, this is the new video game that had all the glitches in it, and this is
all the dildos.
Yeah, all the dildos. So a raw copy sold. So this is something else that's happened this year that comics based from video games we've seen getting some love. So this is Cyberpunk 2077. Limited to a 300, dropped on September 9, 2020. A raw copy sold for $560, man. Wow. Who would have thunk?
I agree with Moonbase Alpha right there. Yeah. That giant size X-Men for $2,000 less than the Marvel preview. Come on, man.
Right.
I've always been high in this Young Avengers book, obviously. Let's look at this one.
No, go back to the Iron Man, because isn't that first appearance of Thanos right there?
Yes, it is.
That's such an undervalued book still at $450.
Well, $450 for 4.0, which is pretty amazing. Let's see.
4.0.
So the highest known value is graded 9.8 for $8,181. If you don't know, there are some double covers out there of this issue.
Wow.
Yeah. So it just shows how many recorded sales. 8,000 for Thanos. I thought the Thanos stuff would drop in price a little bit, but I thought, hey, once he dies, I'm going to start buying him up.
Dropped a brand new toy for him. He ain't going anywhere. I mean, come on. There's a new Marvel Legends toy that just broke.
Oh, look at that Star Wars book. That's a sweet cover.
Yeah, I love this cover. Let's take a look at this one. Looks like this is the Forbidden Planet Adi Granov variant and his hot wife. $400 for a CDC 9.8. This is one of the prettier covers.
That is pretty
beautiful. Look at that.
Adi Granov does have some great art skills, and he's got a hot wife too. I'm sorry, it's
okay. Oh, hey, 2 Young Avengers books.
I own this book.
Ooh,
this is the Wizard World black and white sketch variant. Look at all those.
Did you just get this book?
Yeah, I have all three of them. So I have the regular copy, I have the black and white sketch, and I have the director's cut. So CDC 9.6 just sold for $345. So that's not even a 9.8. Those bastards! I knew it. So this is interesting. If you didn't know, there was this weird thing that CDC did with Wizard World where they came out with 9.5s.
Oh, my
Those
goodness.
are now being sought after. It's really technically, I believe, a 9.8. Correct me in the live chat if I'm incorrect on that. But it was just a kind of interesting thing, and I think it had a red label. I'm trying to remember correctly, but if you ever see a 9.5, it was something specific that CGC did with Wizard for this book, and that's why it's so rare, and that's why it's pumping. Before it wasn't nearly this high, but once the Young Avengers hype started, people started seeking this out. But if you want, go on to eBay and just search CDC 9.5 and you'll see some kind of weird. So I have this one. I have the director's cut. I didn't get the other one, which is a Marvel.
You think there's still you think there's still room in there, right?
Oh, I definitely think so.
You think it's too late to get in on Young Avengers?
No, because it's first of all, Kate Bishop's going to blow up when she's on.
There's too many firsts in there.
Yeah, but only person that really has been talked about is Kate Bishop. But I mean,
that's why I think there's more room. I think there's more room.
There's more room because when you think about all the other characters, quite possibly, maybe, so if also known as Iron Lad, which is also one of the iterations of Kang, if you think about it. I don't want to get too deep into the woods, but I think it is great. It's just like Strange Academy, bunch of first appearances, younger kids that they can do a lot of stuff with. This one's interesting. I'm gonna look at this one, man. Kanto, issue number 2, the 10 copy incentive beam.
What does that mean?
I have no idea, but it's $300 for a CGC 9.8. These are some gnarly covers, though, man. I'm digging this. A little Marvin the Martian vibe. Cool. Tell me if I'm wrong. Is that my Marvin the Martian or what?
Yeah,
man?
For sure. That's definitely.
I am here to take your spaceships. Oh, I sound like Kermit the Frog. Never mind. I was trying to do my Marvin the Martian. I end up saying it like Kermit the Frog. I will do an entire
funny Family Guy cutaway where it's Kermit the Frog, the guy from Ghostbusters. I can't think of his name. Stegman or whatever, and
take a look at that.
Everybody Loves Raymond. They're all at the table talking.
Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man.
Which one?
Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man #1. I feel like everybody's got that book, and you've picked that book up. And you've passed on that book.
It's like a $10, $20 book.
So many times digging.
Yeah. So look at that. 9.8 sold yesterday for $354, man. So
9.6 is going for $102 even.
Yeah. So hey, man, if you
Hold on,
sign
real
up,
quick, go down to that Ra's al Ghul real quick.
Now, I'm telling you, you can spend hours in here. Anybody that ends up getting the full subscription to this is like a time killer. You will get in here and just go through all these lists and spend hours looking at these numbers. It's
sign
amazing.
Up. It's only $6.99 a month. If you have CLZ and you feel that, hey, I have to pay for CLZ, well, guess what? You can export your CLZ and then it'll populate inside here. But yeah, here you go, Ryan. This is Batman number 232 from 1971. First appearance of Ra's al Ghul.
Raz.
I've heard it said different times by goddamn WB DC.
Yeah,
themselves.
Me too. Ra's or Race. I don't know.
That's what's irritating the fuck out of me. Come on. So yesterday, raw copy sold for $277. Highest known value on a CDC 9.8 seemed $5,000. That seems kind of cheap to me, actually.
Do me a favor. Check out a 9.0 real quick. I'm just curious.
Is this for your own?
Oh yeah, slide down so people can see the entire scale. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So
I'd like to see that.
Let's see 9.0. There you go.
Now comic books are a terrible investment. They're a terrible investment.
So once you get more into the weeds on this, guys, if you scroll down, this is where it has more like for those who are familiar with GPA, this has more of like a GPA feel to it. So you can actually scroll down and you'll see what all the actual sale. And this way is a better way to kind of find out where books are trending. And if you look, I mean, it goes all the way back to like 2011. Started at 300, started bumping up to 2017. It hit 700. And March, look at that. May downright got a damn discount for
Someone got lucky.
$325
Yeah.
on a 9.0. November 2017, somebody went nuts and spent $1,000 on it, but we don't know if it was signed or what have you. But and then it kind of died down. And then right now it's I mean in March 650, December 2019 625, and then it went up to like 900. This is what I mean, as you could tell. I mean, 1 or 2 a month, and then there was one in December, one in November, and September. But this is just in this grade. I mean, if you look at let's look at how many 9.8s have been sold. January, $5,000. Somebody got a damn discount, big time discount, August 2020. They bought it for $3,800. Another one in July for $5,000. 3,600. So these are some of just the cool little things, man. Once you get into the weeds, if you want to like find out more on the raw side, you can sign this out. If you go to your own collection and you can kind of update your own. Oh, look at that. It went up a couple.
Damn, son. What's your address?
Look at that. That is solid.
Let's look at my, I don't want to look up a raw comic so I can, so if I look at this one, where was it? Anyway, it's almost 7:00, so I'm tired. But anyway, when you have in your own collection, you can go and you can tell on the raw ones, you can actually put a grade into it, what you think is the grade of it. So if you want to put in VF or near mint, or you can cheat and just say, all my books are near mint, but there's the weekly top 10.
All near mint.
And this is really quick. I'll just go over these. These are the weekly movers. So this is most units sold. As you can tell, 184, 176, 127. This weird ass book.
I just read that today.
Yeah, haha. Joke's on you, I guess. I like this Venom cover. This is dope. I need to go get this. What is this? I need this.
Dude, all those alien covers are dope. I did a video on that, man. Yeah, and when they release.
All right, boys and girls. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed my little journey into mystery. You like that little journey into mystery?
Very nice.
So yeah, thank you guys all for joining us. That is the weekly Shakers of the week. Saturday, Darkside Jedi and myself are going to go live and do a comic call.
Yes, we are. We were just talking before the show.
I've got box back from CGC too.
A bunch of envelopes full of comics from the last probably 8 months that have just been, I haven't opened. So,
and he was,
I don't even remember what they are.
He was on cough syrup when he bought them, so he has no idea. So it's basically a mystery box.
It really is going to be a mystery unboxing because it's all a mystery. Except one.
So
I
maybe
know
like
one
Saturday night between like maybe 5 p.m. Pacific or 6 p.m. Pacific. We're going to go live, and I have a haul of a bunch of books. And I figure why not share the experience with Ryan? We'll both show off our stuff and, just go live and we'll fuck with you guys.
Mine are not slabs, but they're, email or USPS envelopes ready to be opened.
And he has no idea what it is.
I really don't. Honest to God, I don't. They may be Playboys.
It could be My Little Pony books, and he exposes himself as a brony, and we never even know. Speaking of bronies, JB, any last words?
Well, I've got something coming up. I've got 45 seconds. Can you give me 45 seconds?
Sure.
Go ahead and full screen me for 45 seconds. You guys, this is what I got coming up. Let's see if it plays. No. How you doing? I'm JB, and it's 2021, and that means it's time to get organized. I want to know what my collection's worth. What's the value? A lot of the comic book's value depends on grade. Well, I've got 30 graded comic books in my collection. I've got 25 from CGC and 5 from CBCS. I'm going to start by entering those comic books into the CovrPrice.com app. And that's how I'm going to check my comic book values today. If you want to see what I got in graded comic book value, according to CovrPrice.com anyway, stick around.
I'm there.
There you go. That's what I've got coming up.
I'm there. That looks awesome.
All right, now JB's just showing off,
I'm there. That looks
All
awesome.
right, now JB's just showing off, doing a video
Like,
within a video.
I just took over the whole show.
We
in my
gotta figure
OBS.
out,
I
yo,
love it.
that was pretty dope. I gotta figure out how to do that. How you did so it's OBS inside a stream. Damn,
Inside of StreamYard. I'll give you
taking
the
that shit
scoopity
to
scoop
the
on
next
that.
level.
To
When is
the
that video
next
dropping?
level. You know what? I keep saying it's going to drop, but I keep putting more and more editing into it. That was just the first 45 seconds. I got about 2 hours into that. I bet you it'll drop Saturday.
All right, so Saturday.
Yeah,
There you go.
Good Saturday for everybody.
So Saturday, check out JB, check out Darkside Jedi and myself. Darkside Jedi, any last words?
No, as always, it's a blast. I love seeing everybody in the chat, getting along, having fun. JB, Tim, as always, it's a blast. Pleasure hanging out with you guys on a Thursday night.
All right, and we will see you guys Saturday for our live unboxing and enveloping and just opening up and showing you basically a show and tell of stuff that we've gotten over the last.
You may see why the hell did I order this, or you could see whoa, I didn't realize I ordered this.
Some Silver Age X-Men that I recently picked up. So just a few things. Make sure you check out our friends from the Comic-Con podcast. Their podcast is going to drop tomorrow sometime, 9 a.m. around that time. So just follow them and hit them up, and we will see you guys Saturday. Till next time, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.
Peace.
That one's way too long. Let me go with this one.
Now let's do this. Rewind, select and come again. Pull up that from the top to the very last.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? In this you shall know that the Lord is faithful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do it! We're here! We're back! Word up! Let's do my job! You can't get fresher than this. In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 5 greatest heroes. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind. When it comes, I won't even notice. Oh, how so? I'll be too busy looking good. You can't understand.